this is one of the activity that we do as part of the project is to support SMEs in the adoption process directly by injecting funds to potential projects that has but I mean that is able to demonstrate route to market industrialization. So one of the key things that differentiate this funding call as compared to your standard European funding call is each of the projects will be provided additional support in addition to just your normal review by the commissioner. So so once a project is being offered, you will be paired with a mentor. So the mentor has two roles. So one role is obviously in looking after the progress of the project, as in what a normal evaluator will do. But in addition to that, the mentor that is being paired to your project will also have the technical expertise relevant to the proposal of the project, which what it means is that the mentor will actually not only just to monitor progress, but will also be able to be there as an advisory or consultancy role to assist in any issues that you have technically when you are progressing with the project. And also in addition to that, funding box will also be providing business mentoring at some point through the project. I think it's mostly towards the end of the project, so that it will then enable SMEs to look at depending on what level of development the technology there are at that stage, how are they going to exploit it, what sort of business model they should use, etc., etc. So all of this benefit, you won't it will be part of the package that the PULSATE project will provide to SMEs. And also in addition to that, the PULSATE project will be doing a lot of media exposure and engagement activities around Europe. So any of the projects that get funded through PULSATE will also be included in those dissemination. And I think the key thing that will be critical as part of the project selection is that we were hoping that all of these projects that got selected, especially in the first round, they will then ended up being as a case study for the as part of the demonstration to showcase what photonics technology is capable of to provide in terms of manufacturing capability. So and at the bottom of the slides there, you can see that, as I mentioned previously, out of the 9 consortium partners, we have 6 of them that are specialized in various different technologies. So, and the table there pretty much categorized them into 4 main key areas. So we have 3 partners that have capability in high power laser-based application, 3 in micro nano fabrication, 3 in additive, and 3 in the digitization section for photonics. Next, please. So just to give you guys a little bit of, insight and also info as to, what is it that you can do and what is it that you can propose, for the TTE call. So because this has been a question, I believe, that has been asked quite a few times in the first webinar. So basically what I've done is that I basically listed down the potential technologies that you can do for each of the subsection. As you can see, there's a high power laser-based applications. You can think of anything in the laser cutting, drilling, or anything hybrid processing related. There's a polishing, cleaning, hardening, and for the micro nano, it can be anything around texturing, marking, cleaning, even coloring or micro machining. And in additive, it will be one of the 2. So you can either be selective laser melting, SLM, or powder bed fusion. There's multiple names to that. Or you can do look at direct energy deposition or laser cladding. And in terms of digitization, so the scope is very broad, but it can cover anything from simulation, whether that is process optimization simulation or parameter optimization simulation, digital software or architecture, or even hardware. If if you can justify there is a dire need for a hardware development that will assist the photonics manufacturing and sensing. But just one thing to bear in mind that these lists are not and exhaustive. So there might be something in there that I might have missed. But I mean, as a starting point, this pretty much covers most of the the technologies that you can think of for laser processing. Next, please. So then we go into talking about what potential area of research that you can do, right? So if you look at laser-based processing, as a bigger picture, and then we break them down, this is what it will normally look like. So you start off with the core, which is the laser source. So there is obviously innovation that you can do on the laser source. Then if when you go up the next level, then it's on the system level. So in there you have things related to laser beam delivery that you can do, whether that is new optics design or whether that is a new fiber delivery, etc. Beam manipulation method. So things like, are you doing galvo, polygon, or interference patterning, or masking method, all that sort of stuff. And part manipulation, so that will be things like, are you considering CNC, or are you considering gantry, robotics, sensors? Are you doing inline sensing, or you're not, or sensing for, let's say, powers and all that sort of thing? Control system, whether you're going for what type of platform, Siemens, Omron, etc., and also CAD/CAM programming. So how do you do, complex shapes, or is your process roll to roll? So which means that you have different types of programming requirements, etc. So then if we go the next level up, so that is related to the process. In there, you will have things like, the digital side of things, which can be simulation, digital infrastructure, AI, machine learning, or there is things in the operation requirement in terms of, quality assurance, etc. So that could be things like metrology, metallurgy, any standard framework requirements. And obviously, last but not least, is on the business requirements. So things like case studies, processing costs, simplification of process, new business model due to the, the technology or specific case studies requirement, or supply chain. So all that, I mean, like I said again, it's not an exhaustive list, but it should give you some idea of, what sort of things that you want to do and you want to look at. But bear in mind, I think in the later slide, you will show that this call is concentrate on projects between TRL5 and TRL7. So some of the development might not fall into that category, depending on at the point of application, where is your progress, what is the progress of it. So if you, let's say you want to propose something on laser source, but it's a brand new laser source and we have never done anything, you only have an initial idea and concept, we don't even have a breadboard, demo, then it won't be applicable to apply for this call. So you just have to bear in mind, whatever section of this that you pick for innovation, it has to be at the right TRL level.